Today we honor those who have died, that we might live in freedom. Remember our departed loved ones that have gone before us. Those great Americans will be a part of our lives forever. That is an American Legion quote. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dick Moody, and I welcome you to the Danvers Memorial Day ceremony. Today, unless you had a close friend or a relative who had died in the war, you probably might not think twice about the significance of this day. Those who did not have a loved one might be thinking, gee, it's a 3-day weekend. Maybe it's the beginning of summer. It's the start of the barbecue season. These are all valid reasons, provided they remember that it was the sacrifice of those American soldiers who went overseas for us, who stayed in the States for us, but who served our country, that allow us to enjoy these good times. Today we have the opportunity to take part in a program that pays homage to our servicemen and women. My thank you goes out to the Memorial Day Committee for putting this event together. Now, they're going to hate me for this, but I would like them to stand as I give their names out. Kelly Reyes Teixeira. Marsha Coogan. Mary Jalbert. Diane Cooley. Bill and Lois McKenzie. C.R. Lyons. Thank you for standing, and our thanks go out to you for the hard work you've done. I would also like to honor our Grand Marshal this morning. He was going to kill me if I didn't say this. He is well known to many of you, but to those of us that do know him, we realize just how special this guy is. Read the program. You'll get an inkling. Well, Grand Marshal Jim Simon, please stand up. About the only problem with Jim is that he's a little bit too soft-spoken. Now, to begin the program today, I'd like to ask State Representative Sally Cairns of the 13th Essex District to please come forward with the Governor's proclamation. Representative Cairns.
Thank you, Dick. Thank you to the committee, to the Grand Marshal, to all of you for being here, to our band. It's been a really reflective week, beginning with flagging in the Middleton Cemetery and then a ceremony at the State House. And I come away every year at Memorial Day with a profound sense of gratitude and gravity as we remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. I'm honored to read the proclamation that was read in the Memorial Hall earlier this week by the governor, and I would also just note quickly, very proud to have voted for the HERO Act earlier last week, to strengthen and expand access to important services for our veterans. But today, as I said, is for those who have given the ultimate sacrifice. A proclamation. Whereas, while the nation was still recovering from the Civil War, people in cities and towns across the country gathered to honor the soldiers who had given their lives, celebrating the first Decoration Day. And whereas after World War I, the nation came together again to honor those who had fallen in the service of their country. Renamed Memorial Day, the last Monday in May, is when we remember and honor the memory of all the men and women who fought and died in all American wars and conflicts. And whereas throughout our country's history, thousands of Massachusetts residents have fought in wars and conflicts to defend our safety and our way of life. And whereas their legacy of patriotism and dedication to country is an inspiration to all Americans, and whereas it is appropriate that all Massachusetts residents remember the bravery of those who gave their lives so that their sacrifices serve as a reminder of the cost of our freedom. Now, therefore, I, Maura T. Healey, Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim May 27th, 2024 to be Memorial Day, and urge all residents of the Commonwealth to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance, given at the Executive Chamber in Boston, 27th May in the year 2024, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 247th. Signed, Maura T. Healey, Kimberly Driscoll, Lieutenant Governor, William Francis Galvin, Secretary of the Commonwealth. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
We also had State Senator Joan Ludley here. She was here for the parade, but she had quite a few other commitments this morning, so she couldn't stay for the ceremony. But it was nice for her to make a showing today. We are fortunate to have with us today the Civil Air Patrol of the United States Air Force Auxiliary under the command of First Sergeant Ryan. These cadets served as a color guard this morning in the parade, and I would like to have them come forward at this time. Color guard, present the colors.
Quadrant 8, up, reset, arms.
The American flag, the symbol of the greatest place on earth for which to live. All Americans should be proud to stand up and pledge their support for the ideals and the pride that the American flag symbolizes. I would like to call to the microphone a member of the U.S. Marine Corps, Town of Danvers Veteran Service Officer, Ms. Kelly Reyes Teixeira, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Could anyone that could you please stand? Remain standing. Danvers High School Advanced Chorus has been under the guidance of its director, Alex Trova, and has been a part of our Memorial Day program for years. Alex has done a magnificent job bringing together the sound that you are about to hear. May I present the inspiring voices of the Danvers High School advanced chorus and their rendition of our country's anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Thank you, Alex, and chorus.
Order, arms.
You may sit. I ask that the color guard post the colors. Let us all thank the cadets for coming today. Color guard post the colors. Those troops are battle weary already. We had put a chair right in the middle of their line of marching, and nobody hit it. You know, it's hard to imagine a patriotic ceremony without an expression of prayer of some kind. We are indeed fortunate this morning to have with us the Reverend Matthew Wissell, the pastor of the Holy Trinity United Methodist Church of Danvers. This morning, Pastor Wissell has consented to give us an invocation at the ceremony. May I present Reverend Matthew Wissell.
Let us be together in a spirit of prayer. Almighty God, today we offer our gratitude for all the men and women who have served their country in defense of freedom. For their sacrifice of time, talent, and life, we pay them homage. Help all who have gathered here to remember those whose sense of dedication and patriotism led them to preserve the democratic way of life we enjoy. Enable us to follow their lead and to do all that we can to further the cause of peace in the world. To this end, we seek your blessing. Amen.
And since we have the advanced chorus still standing, I'm going to call on them again. I'd like them to do, I'm sorry, I skipped a piece. And I know I'm going to hear about that. You know, this is a very important part of any military ceremony. When the military veterans get together, if there's a meal involved, or if there's just some kind of getting together to be able to express their patriotism and their recognition of those who have gone before. And I don't know whether you've noticed, but there is a small table in the back of the room, and we call it the POW Missing Man Table. And here to talk about that this morning, I'd like to call on U.S. Navy veteran Petty Officer Anthony Petusios to tell us a little bit more about the significance of the table.
Thanks, Mike. I'm honored and humbled to talk about the POW MIA table. The table is smaller than the others, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his or her oppressors. The white tablecloth draped over the table represents the purity of their response to our country's call to arms. The empty chair depicts an unknown face representing no specific soldier, sailor, airman, or Marine, but all who are not here with us. The round table shows that our concern for them is never ending. The Bible represents faith in a higher power and the pledge to our country, founded as one nation under God. The black napkin stands for the emptiness these warriors have left in the hearts of their families and friends. A Purple Heart medal can be pinned to the napkin. The single red rose reminds us of their families and their loved ones. The red ribbon represents the love of our country, which inspired them to answer the nation's call. The yellow candle in its ribbon symbolizes the everlasting hope for a joyous reunion with those yet unaccounted for. The slices of lemon on the bread plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt up on the bread table represents the tears of their families. And the inverted wine glass reminds us that our distinguished comrades cannot be with us to drink a toast or join in the festivities of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Now we're going to hear again from the advanced chorus. The last piece was rather short. We'll have a little longer this time for a very special rendition of God Bless America.
Beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairie, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Very, very nice. You know, my family has been in Danvers for years. I grew up attending the schools, playing in sports, hanging around with some great friends, many of whom are here with me this morning. My children are here, and now my grandchildren are here to bring me back to the memories of a long time ago. A Memorial Day ceremony wouldn't be complete without the town fathers welcoming us to this celebration. So at this time, I would like to welcome to the podium a man who really needs no introduction, the chair of the Danvers Select Board, Mr. Dan Bennett.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. On behalf of my fellow board members and our town manager, we welcome you here today as we remember and honor our fallen men and women. As Jeffrey Walder, commander of the E.F. Gilmore DAV Chapter 64 wrote recently, duty, loyalty, and courage are of our fallen heroes that they lived by and died for. As a nation, we must remind ourselves of these values and do our best to try to live up to these ourselves and not forget our past. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Very appropriate. Okay, this is a very, very good part of the ceremony. It's the time when I could look out and say thank you to all the veterans who have come today. Would every man or woman who has served or are currently serving in the service please stand and be recognized. And before you all sit down, are there any World War II veterans among us? I know we're all getting old. There might be one in here. Okay. I'd like to invite Jeff Daniels of the Danvers High School Band to pay a tribute to the servicemen and women who have gone before, and their families who remember and honor them today. Since I know that many of the family members are here and you're just as proud of the event, I ask you to stand and be recognized when the band plays your service song. Now don't be shy. Wave your hands, cheer if you want, and if more than one song applies to you because of various family members, get up again. Jeff, over to you. Jeff, that was great. I'd like to give a special thanks to the Danvers Fire Department for hanging the American flag in Danvers Square, and a very special word of appreciation to the Kelly Tree Company, the only veteran tree company in Danvers, who hung the flag over the streets of our town. Thank you. Eight score and 1 year ago today, President Abraham Lincoln gave a short speech at the dedication of the Gettysburg National Cemetery. Lincoln spoke the words in a very hastily written message. And little did he know that this speech would become one of the most quoted, best-loved pieces of writing in American history. This morning, Danvers Air Force veteran Willie Sherrill of the United States Air Force will embrace the message that our president delivered over 163 years ago at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Willie.
Fourscore 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now, we're engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who have gave their lives so that the nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger scale, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, has consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little know or long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what we did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus so far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here, dedicated that we have increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we are highly resolved that they have, that these that are dead that have not died in vain. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
this time, I call the Danvers High School Marching Band to play a very fitting piece. Jeff, over to you for the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Over the past year, many of our family members have passed away, and a visual representation of these men and women can be seen at the town hall. Small flags that are down around the monument. There's one flag for each veteran that has passed. This morning, Mrs. Mary Jalbert of the Danvers Veterans Council will read the names of those veterans from Danvers who have died since the last Memorial Day celebration. For those who might be hearing impaired, the names are all displayed on the overhead screen with the thanks to our DCAT, Danvers DCAT people. Between each war, there will be a shot fired in remembrance of the horrors of war that military men and women must face during the times of crisis. Mary, would you begin to read the names at this time?
The following veterans served in the World War II era. Justine Kamor, James Arthur, Emmanuel Bolotis, John Carroll, Robert D. Intermont, Alec DeSimone, Angelo DeVito, Edward Doobie, Lawrence Kirby, Alfred LeBlanc, Thomas Quigley, Ted Tediaso, Frank Tubery, William Zola. The following veterans served during career: Earl Allen Jr., Bernard Anderson, Richard Bennett, Thomas Bond, Robert Coffer, Robert DeRocher, Dominic DeLuca, Joseph DeMonica, Thaddeus Dubell, Lyman Fancy, George Gibbons, William Griffith, Joseph Garanti, James McGinnis, George Orica, Richard Osgood, Philip Patry, Wallace Pennell, Joseph Polentano, Lorenzo Ramondi, Richard Salmonson, Anthony Santorello, Patrick Touchard. The following veterans served during Vietnam: Ludwig Avzulis, Robert Berry, Frederick Boshermer, Louis Bouchard, Thomas Buchanan, Roger Budgell, Charles Bruce Casey, Peter Comeau, Gary Cook, James Cronin, Richard DeCole, Andre Duchesnes, Richard Gilbert, Robert Greenlaw, George Grotto, John Joseph Jack Irwin, Stephen Klan, Albert Lavasser, Peter Loomis, Geraldine Lund, Paul Moore, Louis Patty, Robert Phillips, Natalie Brasuski, Arthur Roberts, Michael Splasano, David Talbot, Everett Teague, James Toomey, Nancy Usher, John Vacconi. The following veteran served in the Persian Gulf: Paul Brandt, the following veterans served during peacetime: Arthur Cucco, Dean DeSimone, Alan Erskine, Paul Grotto, William Graves, William LaChance Jr., David McCarthy, Robert McGowan, H. William Paul, William Rossi, Robert Scroggins, James Samard, and Seymour Tice Jr.
At this time, I'd like you all to bow your head in silence as Tim Bowler and Caitlin Bushy honor us with the most sacred part of the military funeral. This simple prayer was written by a Union general during the Civil War. The final words of this piece are, "All is well, safely rest, God is nigh." Please listen to taps. And I would ask that anyone that could stand, stand and salute. And to conclude our ceremony, I would like to call Pastor Russell back to give us a benediction.
As we have gathered here today in solemn remembrance, let us bow our heads and hearts once again in a moment of reflection. May we continue to honor the brave souls who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Their courage and dedication have paved the way for the liberties we cherish and the peace we strive to maintain. May we be inspired by their unwavering commitment to duty and country. Let their memories strengthen our resolve to uphold the values of justice, democracy, and unity that they fought so valiantly to protect. May we as a nation remain steadfast in our support for those who served and have served, recognizing the profound debt we owe to them. And may we move forward with a renewed sense of purpose, dedicating ourselves to the cause of peace, equality, and enduring freedom for all. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend. I have a couple of final remarks. I want to thank everybody for coming this morning. I don't know whether you noticed, but a couple of months ago, the Veterans Council met the Select Board at the Town Hall and received a proclamation that Danvers has been selected as a Purple Heart city, Purple Heart town. Now, the Purple Heart was established by George Washington, and it was a way by which those veterans, whether living or deceased, were wounded or killed by the enemy during the action of war. Many of our deceased loved ones were, in fact, Purple Heart veterans. If we have any living Purple Heart veterans in the audience today, would they stand? Some of you may have seen the signs up in the town recognizing Danvers as a Purple Heart community. August 7th, is officially National Purple Heart Day. And the Veterans Council is planning to have a dedication on or around that day. So keep your eyes peeled. We will have more information as we get closer to that date. I want to thank the Danvers VFW Auxiliary for distributing flags during this morning's parade and distributing poppies during not only the parade, but also at their plant sale 2 weeks ago. And they are also hosting a gathering with hot dogs and salads at the VFW Hall immediately upon the conclusion of this ceremony. And if you're wondering where the VFW Hall is, go right down toward town. It's right in the center of town, next to the bank, 5 Conant Street. Everyone is invited. Danvers Veterans Council wishes to thank the participants that joined us in today's parade, with a special thank to the following: State Rep Sally Cairns for the proclamation, the Danvers Veteran Service Officer Kelly Reyes for her Pledge of Allegiance, Reverend Matthew Wissell for the prayers, Anthony Patusios for the missing man table, Kelly Tree Service for the flags, Sergeant Willie Sheriff for the Gettysburg Address, Mary Jalbert for the list of names, Tim Bowler and Caitlin Bushy for the taps. And for those of you that aren't sure, they have the two that have been playing taps for the last 2 to 3 years, and we thank them. And while I am in the process of giving plugs, Staff Sergeant Willie Sheriff is not only a great orator, he is one of the foremost blues musical singers in the world today. Thank you. I'd also like to thank the DPW for preparing the grounds for the ceremony, the police department for controlling the streets and leading the parade. And if you ever saw the police practically attack me the other day at Walnut Grove, I was standing there to give out the flags, and 7 police cruisers pulled up. And at the same time, they all got out, full uniform, and started to walk towards me. I really didn't know what to do. Then I found that they were here to put the flags on the graves. And not only did they do it once, they did it 2 or 3 times. Kept coming back for more. Thank you, guys. And I would like to thank the Memorial Day Planning Committee again. A final musket stay. The final firing of the muskets will occur outside the hall today as you leave. The alarm list is under the command of Captain Henry Rutkowski, who every year, and listen to this, folks, if you don't know it, it is so beautiful. Every year, on April 19th, Henry and the whole alarm list take their muskets and they visit each grave of the 7 soldiers that got killed at Lexington. And that's not only in Danvers. Their graves are located in the surrounding communities. Come witness a piece of our history as they pay homage to the Minutemen who were killed so many years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. Please go and enjoy your Memorial Day parade, Memorial Day, as you remember the fallen soldiers who died for our country. Thank you and good day.
Charlie. Okay. Yeah, shoulder.